Hey guys, it's Dan, your host here at Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back with my weekly review for this episode of Fear the Walking Dead. This is going to be for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 9, which is called People Like Us. So, this review will contain spoilers for sure. This is the return episode for Fear the Walking Dead, and if you guys can tell, I'm not really that excited in this video because I honestly didn't like this episode very much. I have a lot of problems with this episode, and I really think this episode needed a lot fixed. That's for sure. So, now to rate this episode on my, scale that I was telling you guys about yesterday, from great episode, good episode, okay episode, or a bad episode, I'm sorry, but I have to rate this one at just an okay episode. I think this episode suffers tremendously. It's actually insane how much it suffers. Now, I enjoyed Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, and, if you guys watch my reviews, you know that. Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, honestly, is the best season they've ever done, but Season 4 changed the show a lot, and even though I don't think every episode of Season 4 was that bad, I think Season 4, the general idea of Season 4 and what they were doing with Season 4 is not as good as Season 3, even 2 or 1, to be honest. Now, moving into this episode, Season 4, Episode 9, which is called People Like Us, this episode really could have done more. They advertised the storm in this episode. They kind of made it seem like the whole episode was going to be about the storm. We kind of have to wait until next week to see the full storm episode actually go down. So, that was a disappointment to me. However, one thing that really disappointed me in this episode was the fact that the best part of the episode was honestly the stuff with Morgan telling the others that he's going home. That's like the best part of the episode. And again, guys, I want to enjoy this show. I really want to enjoy this show. It's just that I have a hard time sometimes because they do decisions that I frankly don't really think are necessary. Like, Travis's death or, Troy's death or, anything like that. Madison's death I thought was kind of, it was shot good, but Madison's death was honestly, it was a bad decision. So, really what I'm trying to say here is that I think that this episode really could have been better. They could have done so much with this episode. They really could have. And I'm already hearing a lot of people saying, I'm just waiting for Walking Dead to come in October. I get that, because honestly, this episode, I've heard a lot of people saying this episode was boring. I wouldn't say this episode was boring, but it was a little slow. Now, I don't mind slow, depending on how the story is going and if the story is somewhat interesting. But if you have a story where it's going very slow and the story's not that interesting, oh, that's like an ouch. That's like, oh man, But honestly, this episode, the best part was Morgan saying, I'm going to be leaving and going back home. That really shouldn't have been the best part. We should have seen something way better than that. Now, I want to start up with the actual episode. So we start off, we've got Morgan, and he's, he's just, he's kind of just on his own, and you get to see a few scenes, like, with the tornado and stuff at the beginning. You get the intro, Morgan's on his own, he's talking to Althea, talking about the fact he's going to be going home, and then he kind of goes around and goes to ask everybody in the group, if they want to come with him. Now, John says no. Charlie's kind of sitting there in the bus as well. You've got Naomi. She's not going to be leaving either. And you've also got, he goes to Strand. Strand's not going to be going. Luciana's not going to be going. Alicia's not going to be going. So pretty much nobody, except for Althea, is going to be going with Morgan to Alexandria. So this is the only thing I'm kind of wondering about. How on earth would Morgan go back to Alexandria if, because it's already been renewed for Season 5. So obviously they can't get to Alexandria. So how this goes down is kind of weird. If Morgan decides not to go in the next couple episodes, that's something I know a lot of people have been theorizing about. But either way, Morgan wants to go back home. So we'll have to see how that works out and all that kind of stuff. But nobody wants to go with him. So that's that. So, you get the IGL type of thing. They go to this place or whatever. You got Alicia and Morgan, and, they're killing zombies, and you got all the wood that comes down on the zombies and stuff. So that was pretty interesting. You kind of got the beginning of the hurricane. It's kind of starting up. You got the thunder and all that kind of stuff. You've got John and the others are in the car, and it's kind of, it's getting to the point where it's like it's building up, and then you also get Charlie, she leaves as well in this episode. She kind of tricks John, because John steps out of the bus for a second, and then Charlie takes her stuff and leaves. So, we'll have to see what happens with that. Charlie is honestly the most disliked character in Fear the Walking Dead right now, so, we'll have to see what goes on with that. But, one thing I definitely will say for sure, and I hate to say it, this episode is not as good as what I thought it was going to be. I thought this episode we would see a couple dialogue scenes, a couple, scenes like that, and then we would get into the hurricane stuff, and we would see the hurricane end by the end of the episode. That's what I was expecting. And I got my expectations way too high because I find this to be just an okay episode on my rating scale. So honestly, I don't know. This episode, it was okay, even though I really, guys, seriously, any Fear the Walking Dead fans, anybody that actually really enjoyed this episode, I really want to enjoy this. I want to enjoy it, but I can't be unbiased. I can't be faking my reviews. If I don't like an episode, I'm gonna say it. And this episode, honestly, for a mid-season premiere, was just alright. So, like Morgan, nobody's going with him. You got the beginning of the hurricane. Everybody's kind of separated in their own thing. Strand is drinking and all this stuff. And you got Luciana playing music, and Charlie leaves, and all that kind of stuff. And, you got Morgan and Alicia and their kind of conversations and stuff like that. And they're kind of going off, and, they killed the zombies and stuff like that. So, it was just alright. I thought this episode was, it was okay. And I think this episode really could have been better. And I'm really hoping in the next episode, the story advances and it gets better. So, is there any of you guys that actually enjoyed this episode? Write that down in the comment section below. Next video is going to be my predictions video for Fear the Walking Dead episode 10. Either that or I'm going to be doing a video on the plague because the first 4 minutes of the mid-season premiere just came out and it's sick. So, I might do a review on that as well. So, we'll have to see, but anyway, guys, write your comments about this episode. I know not everybody probably enjoyed this episode. I thought this episode was alright. I thought this episode was okay to kind of rate it. I know a lot of people probably think to themselves that, I hate Fear the Walking Dead. I don't hate Fear the Walking Dead, but honestly, this season hasn't been the best season of a television series or anything even close to that. So, you guys, like I said, write your comments below because I want to hear it. I really do, because this honestly is not the best start to a half season for Fear the Walking Dead. I've seen a better start than this. So, yeah, I'm trying to really get positive for this show. I'm wanting the show to succeed, but we'll have to see how the show goes on in the next few episodes and just what happens, because we know it's renewed for season 5 and all that kind of stuff, so we'll have to see. But, yeah, for sure, yeah, write your comments below about this episode. So, anyway, guys, I think I'll wrap it up here. I'll do a predictions for episode 10, probably just in a few days. I'm not too rushed to do that because, honestly, it's just, I'm not too rushed to do a predictions video, to be honest. But, wanted to let you guys know that anyway. So, cool stuff, decent episode, but just an okay episode for me. And I think the best part is probably that Morgan wants to go home and Althea and kind of how nobody's wanting to go with him. That's probably the best part, to be honest. So, anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.